How do I overcome toxic masculinity? Today we're going to talk about masculinity. We're going to talk about what toxic masculinity is. We're going to talk about what healthy masculinity is. And we're going to talk about how to overcome the media version of toxic masculinity. What's going on, you guys? I'm Tyler, your wandering therapist, out here on a beautiful morning. You can hear my dog running by in the background. You can see these mountains behind me that are just beautiful with the sun hitting it as the sun's coming up over the mountains on the horizon on the other side here. And I'm excited to be here with you today to talk about masculinity. This topic is one of my favorite topics. It's something that I have pure passion for. It's something that I feel called to by God to talk about. And I'm excited to be here with you today. So there's been a lot of talk in the media about what toxic masculinity is, and I just wanted to share my 2 cents on it with you guys. I wanted to talk about how to overcome toxic masculinity and what one of the main core things is that prevents us from being authentic in our masculinity. So the media projects this idea of toxic masculinity as this overpowering, controlling, sort of harsh, abusive use of power. And that's what toxic masculinity is it's power and control driven without the heart behind it, without vulnerability behind it. And so what ends up happening is you see this generation of men growing up having to show this deep sense of masculinity by everything that they see in the movies. Whether it's all the old movies like Rambo or any of the newer movies that are coming out, it's this hard, really tough guy that doesn't have any other side to him. And so he's the ultimate killer. And he's the ultimate guy who doesn't take any crap from anybody. But in the meantime, he leaves a wake of destruction in his relationships behind him. And that's what the toxic masculinity is. Now, why do we have this problem? In my opinion, this breaks down into our boys not having the father figures or their true masculinity in their life that they need to. In my work and in my practice, I see so many men coming through my door who are pursuing an understanding of what it means to be a man. And what they've learned through growing up is that being a man means I don't show any emotion. The only emotions I'm allowed to show are anger. I'm allowed to show aggressiveness, but I'm not allowed to show any other types of emotion. And so I close myself off emotionally. I become ultimately independent. And when I do those things, I end up isolated and alone. And I end up living the story of Garth Brooks' Ask Me How I Know, where I really want to be with people and I want connection, but I don't know how to get it because I don't know how to express myself, or I don't feel like I have permission to express myself. And what's left over is me living a life of pursuit of things, pursuit of power, pursuit of control, and then I wonder why I'm miserable and I don't have the right connections in my life. And we have a generation of boys growing into men who don't have the examples in their lives to teach them all of the other sides of masculinity. So in my view, toxic masculinity is a narrow bandwidth of all of masculinity, where if you look at those things, some of those things are true. Masculine energy does include aggressiveness. It includes pursuit. It includes being powerful, but not powerful in the sense that's coercive, powerful from an inside-out place of knowing who I am. And that's how I start to overcome toxic masculinity, is I do the work to understand who I am as a whole and complete person. That there's more to me than just having to be tough and not show any feeling. As you can see behind me, there's these mountains that you can see behind me. I believe that they're a manifestation of God. They're God's creations. And I believe that we could actually learn something from masculinity when you look at these mountains behind me. You can see that there's this ruggedness, there's this tallness, there's this rigidness, there's this strongness, there's something firm about a mountain. And yet, on the mountainside, you can also see the beauty of nature. You can see the green of the evergreens. You can see the trees that are delicate with their branches that are actually built onto the mountainside. And I believe that that's similar to how we are as men, is that we have these other emotions and feelings inside. We have the ability to connect and show empathy and understanding at the same time that we have the opportunity to show up in our lives and in our relationships from a place of strength, and we get a chance to offer that strength to the people in our lives. And that's the shift. Instead of using our strength to take, to control, to consume, to be coercive, we need to learn how to understand who we are and use our strength to offer it to those people in our lives. That moves us from being toxic to being healthy in our masculinity, to understanding that we were designed as men to do certain things. John Eldredge outlines in his book, Wild at Heart, he outlines that we as men, we need 3 things to be whole and complete men, and I believe these things are true. We need an adventure. We need something that brings us to life, that allows us to go and experience something new and explore things. We need a battle. We need something to test ourselves against and to fight against, and something that gives us purpose and meaning. And then we also need to learn how to cultivate and revere and respect beauty. And we can't be whole and complete men unless we're pursuing all of those things in our lives. And where toxic masculinity goes wrong is that it spends all of its time on the one end, at an extreme end of that aggressiveness, and it neglects all of those other beautiful things that make us whole and complete men. So if you're watching this video, I'm going to challenge you to look at those areas of your life. Is there something that's missing in your life? Are you so cubicalized in your life that you're just going to work, doing your duty, and you don't have an adventure in your life? You got to go find an adventure. You got to go do something that makes you feel alive again. You know, maybe you're one of those guys that does nothing but adventure, and it's time to actually look at your life and say, what purpose and meaning do I have? What did God intend me to become? How does He want me to use myself for the benefit of other people? Maybe I need to go and find some purpose, right? And I would submit to all of you guys that for those of you who have beauty in your life in the form of a lady, most of us could do a better job of pursuing her heart, of battling for her heart, of showing her respect and kindness. And one of the best ways that we can battle for her heart is to show up and offer our hearts for them to see and for them to hold. That's a form of strength. Most of us feel like it's a form of weakness to be able to show our feelings, and yet it takes true strength and true courage to allow those people in our life, especially our wives, to see our true hearts. So I challenge you guys to think about some challenge that maybe you're having. If you have a significant other, make it a goal to go home and have a conversation with her and share yourself in that way, at the same time that you can still show up and offer her strength. Thanks a lot, guys. Hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you found this to be valuable for you, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you're facing particular struggles that you need help with or roadblocks that you're running into, please submit a question. I'd be happy to answer it for you.